Hey guys! Today we're making a simple watermelon cane. Hope you'll enjoy. For the main part of the cane, I first mixed 5 shades using translucent red, translucent, white and orange. I always eyeball when mixing clay so I don't have the exact ratio for each color used, but if you're not sure, I would recommend you to take a small piece and pre-bake it to see the color. Take the darkest color and form a cylinder shape, then wrap sheets of the other colors around it going from dark to light. For the lightest shade, I first added a thin sheet. I then added strips like this, so that the edge is no longer a perfect circle. Next you're going to mix 3 more shades using white, translucent and green. Add the translucent white layer the same way you did with the lightest of the red shades. And then lastly add the 2 green shades. Before I start rolling the cane, I first add some pressure all the way around to slightly reduce the size. And this is also going to make it easier to roll out if your cane isn't that tall. And you can then roll out the rest. Once you have that, you want to cut off the end pieces, then close the end, cut off a piece and close the other end. Before doing any more cutting, I let it sit overnight. If you want, you can put it in the fridge for a few minutes. I personally just prefer letting it set. To make the seed, you want to roll out a thin snake of clay and then flatten one side to create a teardrop shape. And after baking, you can then cut it into thin slices. Cut the watermelon however you want and begin adding texture. I first added some texture all over the surface using a toothbrush. I then went back in and added some more texture using a needle tool. Once you're happy with the look, you can start adding the seeds. I placed some of them just on the surface and then I also used my X-Acto knife to kind of bury some of them into the watermelon. After baking, I first used some sandpaper on the back of the watermelons to remove any fingerprints. And I then used acrylic paint to give it some more depth. I first added some red acrylic paint to the center and faded that out. I then added a tiny bit of white acrylic paint and finished off with a glass glaze. For the outside I used green paint. I chose to make a very faded pattern, but if you want you can also make it a lot more defined. And for the small slices I added texture and shading the exact same way. Seal the outside with a matte or satin glaze and you're done.